We are, looking at the earth and how does it matter to us. I think we'll begin to understand it more deeply. I think about, the lecture which I had given in the IDSA when I had used two models. One recalling the model of Bucky Fuller, which he had given us. Buckminster Fuller had given us this model of spaceship Earth. And it's a very powerful idea. That means whatever we do on this earth, it goes with us and it carries along with us. But I had added to that model, and in my lecture I talked about another concept which I call space bubble earth. That means we are talking about not the planet earth as a whole, but about just the surface of the earth which sustains life. It's just about 10 feet of topsoil and 10 feet on the top of the water bodies, which receives and converts solar energy. That would be the critical zone, which is the life support zone. And if measure for the future, for economic well-being and for success, in my view, would be on the measure of whether we have left our soil the way it is or in a better condition than it was, that we found it. Why do we have deserts around us? It is because of our overexploitation of our resources and our improper utilization of resources. And this is where I think, going back to the story of bamboo, when you cultivate bamboo, you cultivate organic products, you also look after the soil in ways that you're not using chemical fertilizer, you're not using pesticides, you're not using all these chemical kind of means, but rather using organic means. And if you look after this, imagine the diameter of the earth. If I tell it in miles, it's about 8,000 miles. So in that diameter, we are talking about barely, it's like a thin film of soil on the surface, which gives you life support. This is what we have to be concerned about as humans going forward. Whether you build a factory or you build a business or you have a school, you have to see that your activity does not destroy the soil around you in ways. How do you nurture it? That for me is the key of sustainability, and going forward that will be a measure that will be increasingly taken up to see whether you have done something worthwhile or not. I am Professor P Ranjan, teaching at the National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad, and I head the Center for Bamboo Initiatives, which is a activity which was set up a few years ago based on work which we've been doing for many years now. Way back in the end of the 70s, we went to the Northeast to study bamboo and to understand, at a request from the Development Commission of Handicrafts, that what can we do for the bamboo craftsmen of the northeastern region. So we went there to actually study that region, and I think since then we've been very deeply immersed in the study of bamboo, and I would say that this particular study has also taught us how design could become relevant to much broader areas of application. It's not just how it is applied to business and business profits, but also at the very at the grassroots level, how design can actually help serve communities and also use material in sustainable ways. Bamboo by itself is a wonderful natural material which has been used by many human communities around the world, Asia, Africa, Latin America. Traditional tribal societies have used bamboo for centuries, but we are now looking at using bamboo as a new material, a material of the future, and perhaps as a substitute for many of our modern so-called industrial materials, including metal, plastic, timber and wood and so on, in many constructional applications. So I think this is one talking about one material, but sustainability encompasses many more dimensions. It is about use of resources. It is about use of human potentials, and it is use of natural resources in ways that can leave good value and leave behind something that will be enduring for long time to come. We are just beginning to understand. Talking about sustainability, we've looked at many dimensions of sustainability. Sustainability in human settlements, sustainability in business processes, sustainability at the national and international level, and now we're looking at sustainability as a planet. Are we sustainable? And we are talking about issues which have come to the fore in global warming, climate change, so many other dimensions. And I think in many of these things, design plays a very central role, because we need to understand that at the stage of design, the seeds of sustainability need to be sown. When I say the seeds of sustainability, if we take decisions from a short-term point of view, you are going to sow the seeds of unsustainable processes which will haunt us for years to come. And this is what's been happening in industry and in business in the last couple of centuries. So all that accumulated problems are now catching up with us. On the financial market, we find collapsing systems. On the material front, you find that we are using energy, water, material resources in ways in which we cannot see how we will even finish the next century, in a manner that we can't see beyond it. So I think we need to really look at it. And this is why last year, I think the World Economic Forum had invited us to a design charrette. I think for the first time they used design in a workshop mode in New Delhi, and NID was invited. I had gone there representing NID and with a group of students and faculty colleagues, and we worked for a day with them. Based on that, we suggested that we can actually put together a set of posters for the World Economic Forum for a special workshop on sustainability, which was attended by 50 of their CEOs and corporate leaders in Davos last year. And the posters are there on my blog, and you can download it. It is about various dimensions of sustainability. Sustainability, I think, when we look at business processes and the way businesses are run, we believe that using design, we can bring attention to sustainable processes within business at many levels. So this is where the World Economic Forum set of posters that we had done last year for the Davos meeting come in handy, because we actually had a week-long brainstorming workshop at NID where we involved about 30 students and about 10 or 15 faculty members, all volunteers who worked on various ideas to look at how businesses and business processes can be made sustainable in the context of our current consumer product regimes. And from these, several principles emerged. One of them was that consumers could be actively involved in the process of embedding sustainability into processes. Why can we talk to customers? Can we actually meet consumers and discover their real needs and not just address superficial needs? And in this process, we also identified a number of case studies and showcased specific case studies in these posters that celebrate these events. For instance, even you cannot imagine that there are so many examples where communities have got together and tremendous value has come out of it. One of the examples we had used was the AMUL model, where cooperative farming and cooperative enterprise, which was something which Korean was able to anchor and bring together at AMUL, has become one of the biggest dairy industries in the world. And the method of operation was not to centralize the whole thing into one big farm shed in which you have all these animals, but they distributed collection, but processing is centrally managed. I think in this way there's a principle behind it.